Welcome to the Do Better Podcast. I am your host, Theo Coop, and today we will be reacting to another video. This video is coming from justpearlythings, the content creator. And this video is titled Cool Auntie Destroys Boss Babe, I Don't Need a Man. And yeah, anyone if you don't follow justpearlythings, her content, when the video starts, it kind of starts off right in the middle. They start and end like in the middle of conversations. So just getting her opinion on what she feels about the current dating market. So let's go ahead and get started.
That's why a lot of men are afraid of getting married, is because the cost is so great if you get divorced. Like, that's 20% of your income. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, you have like legal protections as a girl. So it's like the power shifts. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's how it is.
I just think it's all about the examples that you have of a marriage. Because whenever I hear young people talk about marriage, it always sounds so down. You know, I can't have no fun. You know, I can't, I've got to give up everything. And
sometime in the future.
And she makes a great point about this is the older woman, auntie, and she makes a great point about that. When you hear people talk about marriage, a lot of the times it's not talking about in a positive way. It's talking about more of it's a task. It's a chore. I don't know, a present entity in one's life. Depending on the person. But I think she makes a great point that a lot of people just don't see that great married couple role model in their lives. Like I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about it, but when I first saw this video earlier today, a few hours ago, I was actually thinking, and I couldn't off the top of my mind, maybe I could think about something if I really put some time and effort into it, which kind of shows something if I would have to take that much time and effort to really think about it. But I couldn't think of any married couples, like a 2-parent household, that I knew growing up when I was a child, man. So, and that's growing up in the 90s. So anyway, let's keep it moving.
You're kind of like, oh yeah, we'll one day.
And there's nothing wrong with being submissive. All the women see submissive a bad thing. It's not a good thing if you've got a man leading you. A marriage for a woman is great. She's got nothing to lose. She can go in with nothing and she can come out with everything. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just like, you've got a good example of marriage, then you will see marriage as a good thing.
Agreed.
And around me, I've had good examples of marriages, because my mum and dad were married. I grew up with my mum and dad.
Just quickly, that the options that young people have now has made that more difficult.
Too many options.
Too many options. Because there was a time where, it's in your local area, the...
Mr. Samuel said that one time that it used to be back in the day before social media, women, when they went out, they dressed for their neighborhood. They didn't dress for social media.
You go to church or wherever you go and someone knows somebody, and now it's worldwide.
Well, I think the development of birth control changed the game, because there used to be consequences. So if you slept around, like, you likely would get pregnant. Yeah.
Great points by Pearly. Great point on the birth control. And she's going to go in and elaborate a little bit further. But great point by her. I love Pearly, man. She's just logical. It's just rare to just see a woman who just speaks with logic. It's logic with her. And you can tell, maybe not necessarily on this episode, but you can tell watching her show how that throws off just so many women. And you'll hear her talking, and then once she gets done talking, a lot of women are just quiet. They're just silent because they don't have anything to say. And I think a lot of them also are surprised to hear a woman speak the way that Pearl does. Let's keep it moving.
Then you could just sleep with whoever you wanted. And so if you look at, it's really interesting, if you look at graphs of when the divorce rate started to go up in the Western world, it's like the same as when like the number of women on birth control. Rollo Tomasi tweeted it. If you want to go to his Twitter, it's actually really interesting.
Because men can't get pregnant.
Yeah, well, and then that gives that
wasn't the point.
That's why women push off marriage later and later. It gives them more time to lock down like the high value guy. And that's the other thing, is like, girls think they're hotter than they are in 2022, because a girl that's a 4, 5, 6, or 7 can sleep with a guy that's an 8, 9, or 10, but he would never be seen in public with her. He's just sleeping with her.
It just is what it is.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, because girls will think their level is the guy that they're sleeping with, but it's not. It's the guy that you can get to commit to you.
That's a great point by Pearl. And she said something else a second ago about in 2022 women thinking they're a lot hotter than they actually are. And she equated it to them being able to sleep with better looking men. I actually just equated it to social media. just women being gassed up by simps on social media, and also the whole women are beautiful no matter what the size is. Just the constant pampering and coddling of women in our society.
The guys they rejected earlier will turn them down later.
Yes, it happens a lot. It happens because you see the women and they think, oh no, I remember there was a man and he was, he didn't.
And I also think this just speaks to how men and women peak at different times. And this was something that I learned from Mr. Samuels as well. Men and women just peak at different times. Women usually peak in their early to mid 20s. Maybe if they're maybe in their 30s and maybe like 40 at the in their 30s. In their 30s if they're bad with it. Maybe close to 40s if they just really took good care of themselves. But men don't even reach their peak at 40. I'm 38. And I'm just an average man, and I make more money now at being 38 than I made when I was 28. I'm making more money now than I've ever made before. And and to be completely honest with you, at 38, I really got serious about my finances about maybe at like 33, 34. Men start to get their finances together around between 30 and 40, usually closer to 40.
Look, young guy didn't look all that. Nobody was after him. He became a dustbin man, nobody was after him. And they got older and he got more.
Dustbin man. I'm just trash man, maybe. I'm guessing, UK and the US,
And then he got a nice car and everything. Everybody's after him. You know why? Because they realized how much dustmen wanted, how much they earned. Mm-hmm. And then when they were after him, he didn't want them. He got some girl, he was a dustman. I think he married like a lawyer or something like that.
Okay.
Because she saw his worth. And it wasn't how much he earned. It was a good guy with potential. But nobody wanted him at the time. But now all those women now, 3 children, 4 children. Why is a man going to want to take on you with 2, 3, 4 children?
There you go. That's something we all always say. And she across the pond. That's something that we always say. Why would a man that has the option? Some men don't have options and they'll take whatever it is they can take. But if a man has an option, why would he choose to be with a woman who has, baggage like that?
Over 35. Why?
And what mistakes did you see younger girls make when it comes to dating? And what mistakes maybe did you make and you learned from?
I got pregnant on the pill.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, first time pregnant
Really?
on the pill. I was on the pill.
And you never.
See, he just said, I was about to hit the stop the cap button. He said, really? Because a lot of women claim to be on the pill. They always claim to be on birth control afterwards. So I like how he called her out because I was just about to hit her with the stop the cap.
Never missed a day.
Never missed a day. I was only on it for about a month.
Okay.
Oh, so she was only on it, claiming they only be on it for about a month.
Yeah, so, and I got 1 child, because I learnt my lesson. But nowadays it's like.
And sorry to keep stopping the video, but that's a great point. I actually made that point on another video recently. Like she said, she got pregnant and she had 1 child, and that was it. The issue is that a lot of times you'll see, especially nowadays, man, women don't get pregnant and they'll get pregnant again. It'll happen not once but twice. So it's like you got 3 kids by 3 different dudes. Like, and I've said it before in another video. At what point does it click? Hey, I need to be doing something because I'm heading down a bad path right now. Keep having these multiple children by multiple men. At what point does it stop? Is it 7 kids? 14? Come on now.
It's too easy to go and get rid of a child. It's too easy to go and say, right there, I'm going to get birth control and I'm going to sleep with everyone because I'm not going to get pregnant. It's not going to bother me. But what the young people don't realize, every time they sleep with a man, you're giving away a bit of yourself. So by the time you've reached 35, there's hardly anything left of you because you've given it away to all these people. And they don't realize that men can sleep with women. It don't mean nothing to them, but women sleep with men and it's emotional. And every time you sleep with a man, you give away a bit of yourself. And that's what the young people don't realize. That.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
I was hitting that Mike Breen point more for what she said about how it's different. A man can sleep with a woman and be 0 emotions involved. Trust me, I know. 0 emotions involved. And with the woman, it's emotions involved. It's not the same. And I think, especially nowadays, a lot of women are trying to make it seem like, hey, we can do it the same way men can do it. No, you can't. And that's why you'll have an interaction with a woman, and she'll say, we can be, no feelings involved, or friends with benefits. That can be out on the table. She's well aware of it. And then maybe you guys hook up 3 or 4 times, and she's asking you, where is this going? It's not the same. It's not the same. And then one thing, and then she brought up another point too, something I never really bought into, the whole pair bonding thing, but talking about that statistically, about the amount of women, if a woman has more than 5 partners sexually, that her chances of a happy marriage decreases by 80%. And that's significant. I haven't done the research, but she, that's what she presented. And once again, I just never really bought into the whole concept of pair bonding. But hearing that statistic, it makes me better than I, to say the least.
They're just giving themselves away bit by bit by bit.
Do you think women have gotten better or worse over time?
Worse.
Why?
You see how she didn't hesitate?
Because they just think they're all that. They're independent. They've got their own money.
And that's one thing, and not to sound like the old head, I'll be 40 next year, but that is one thing to sound like. I do feel like, but it was a time where fat bitches knew their place. Like, it was a time, man, where like women knew that shit. Like, a chick knew she was a fat chick, or a chick knew, she wasn't the prettiest chick. But now that seems to be all out the window. Like, they're all dimes, man.
They just don't realize it, yeah.
Why does a woman need a man?
Because you try surviving on your own without a man. You cannot wake up in the morning and go through your whole day without having to rely on a man for something.
Like what?
Like everything around us.
Whether you go...
And I'll let my man finish, like everything around us.
Like they do all of the hard jobs in society, everything that makes the infrastructure run.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying we don't need men. That's not my view at all. But I just feel like this is like that term left over. I feel like the things you're saying and the over.
But we weren't talking about leftover, and I'm not trying to derail the subject, but I just want to point out that's something that I noticed that a lot of these women do, especially because Pearl's channel is a lot of just logic and facts, and they just disrupted. Like, they were not talking about that. She was just about to explain how she agrees that we need men, and now she's just switching the subject to leftovers.
So men, that's what perpetuates that view, because it makes it seem like a woman literally can't survive without a man. And I feel like you're linking
women can't. Much of you guys might not like it. A society of women without men. See how far that'll take.
that. Like, one thing you mentioned earlier, you said that there's a link between divorce rates and when women were able to get access to birth control. And I feel like in terms of marriage,
I feel.
like when you're equating marriage with that's when a woman's gonna have kids and she's gonna take some of the man's income in that sense, I feel like I've lost my point now.
And I talked about this in another video as well, in a video I just posted, about how a lot of times these women will get on these shows and they just talk, and they'll talk without really knowing what they're talking about, and they'll start a conversation and not really knowing how it's going to end, because they're talking without having any information in their head just to be heard. They'll talk and start a conversation, and they're just hoping that they can vault out of the conversation and bow out of it, especially when someone comes with facts or something like that. They're just hoping to hop out, start a conversation, then bow out of it gracefully without looking like an idiot. And she didn't complete the latter part of my last statement.
I forgot what I said to begin with.
You say a lot of "I feel like."
Exactly.
A lot of feelings. Is there any? Do you come from a place of logic, or is this all feeling?
What do you think is feeling?
What
do you think is feeling?
No, because you say "I feel."
What he's saying is that you keep saying "I feel." He said you're talking about your feelings. Let's talk about logically what you think. That's what he's saying.
I feel like.
Okay,
So I was just wondering if you're saying that.
So do you want me to say I know?
No, I don't know. Is it all feeling? If you tell me it's feeling, then it's feeling.
I don't think it's feeling. This is what I mean. I feel like women have. What do you want me to say?
That's just how girls
That's how
talk.
we
It's
say
how
it,
girls
isn't it?
talk.
Yeah, what do you want me to replace it?
Go.
That's the end of the video. And I think my man at the end made a great point when he asked her, about, you keep talking about your feelings, and that's something that Mr. Samuels has talked about, and that's something you witness time and time and again. I mean, just hearing a modern woman talk, just ask her, and she's going to talk about how she feels. And I'm glad that he pointed that out, and she wasn't picking up what he was putting down. What he was saying was that you keep talking about how I feel. Are you just talking about your feelings, or are you actually talking about, here's what I think logically? You guys let me know what you think. After party in the comments. I'll see y'all there. Theo Coop, do better.